get this show on the road. Hi y'all, it's me again. Today I thought I would do another gear related video. Today I wanted to show you 7 pieces of my favorite gear that I used on the Appalachian Trail. Just pieces of gear that I'm glad I had and that just ended up overall being gear that made me feel more comfortable and just more, I don't know, just made my hike better. And so with that being said, let me just show you the gear I'm talking about. Now, if you would like to see all of the gear that I carried on the Appalachian Trail, I did do a separate video where I go over every piece of gear that I started out on the AT with. Anyway, let's get into it. The first favorite piece of gear that I carried, and I know I've raved about it multiple times, but it was the Nemo Switchback foam pad. I did take this mainly to be just a luxury item, but I love this piece of gear so much. I took a regular size foam pad and I cut it in half, but then I actually cut an extra panel off, so it ended up being a 6-panel foam pad. But I took it out with the intentions of using it so that when I wanted to take breaks on the trail, or if I was at camp and I wanted something to sit on, I could lay this out and it would be long enough and wide enough that I could stretch my legs out, things like that. And I did absolutely use it for that reason, and it worked out amazing. I also ended up using it under my blow-up sleeping pad, my thermarest, and it worked great because it helped keep my pad from moving around in my tent. It also worked as an additional insulation layer. It also worked just to help protect my blow-up pad from the ground. Sometimes there's like little rocks or little roots or something underneath the tent that you just can't move. So this kind of protected my blow-up pad from getting poked by those. So overall, this was my absolutely, and continues to be my absolutely favorite piece of gear. And when I get back out on the AT, I am definitely taking this one with me. Another favorite piece of gear actually ended up being something that I originally did not take out with me on the AT, but while I was hiking, I saw some other hikers using this particular piece of gear, and I never knew it's what it was meant to be used for, and when I found out, it just kind of was a game changer for me. And this was this little attachment that goes with the Sawyer. It goes with the Sawyer filter. So the way it works is if you have your Sawyer squeeze, this fits on the part where the clean water comes out. It screws on there. And then what you would do is once that is on there, then if you carry the C-Knock bladder, I mean, you might could use other bladders too, but I know the C-Knock one works. And you take the end that, you know, you normally screw your Sawyer filter on, and you put the side where the dirty water goes into. You screw that on there like that. The C-Knock filters have this like little hook. So what you could do is fill this with dirty water, then take whatever bottle you use to drink out of, which I used a life water bottle. You screw it on to the that blue end, and you don't want to make it like super tight. You know, you want it to be tight enough so that it doesn't come off. But anyway, so then you would just hang this from like a tree limb or something, and it would filter your water, clean water, into the bottle. And that was just so amazing to me because I started out where I was just doing this, just rolling it and squeezing it, and I don't know, sometimes it would take like 10 minutes to filter water, and it was just, I don't know, it was just very cumbersome. So realizing that this particular piece, this attachment, made it basically a gravity system, was just so amazing, because I would hang up my bag while I was taking like a break or at camp, and my water would filter, and I didn't have to mess with it or worry about it. And I don't know, it was just, this thing is amazing. So yes, love it, love it, love it. Another favorite piece of gear is my Granite Gear dry compression sack. You might say, why is that a favorite piece of gear? Because the quilt that I carry is the Enlightened Equipment 800 fill, and it's a 10 degree. It is a huge puffy quilt, which is awesome. It's great for when it's cold and keeping you warm and things like that. But because it's so puffy, and I carry the Waymark Gear Light 50 pack, which is a little narrow. What would happen is when I just try to stuff it in its regular sack, it was just way too big. It would not fit into my pack. I tried some other compression sacks like a Zpacks and things like that, and it just cannot compress it down enough for me to be able to put my quilt in my backpack horizontally, so it could be at the bottom of the pack. But I bought this guy. It's a 10 liter. This is, like I said, it's by Granite Gear. And so not only is it a waterproof sack, but it compresses it down. So what it would do is it would compress down my quilt to where I could get it in the bottom of my pack horizontally. It not only housed my quilt, it housed my pillow, and it housed my puffy jacket. So all of that would get into the bottom of my pack. So it just made me have so much more room in my pack having this bag. And it's pretty simple to use, and it's pretty lightweight. It's only a couple of ounces additional, and basically it gave me a ton more room in my pack. Another favorite piece of gear, surprisingly, was my shorts. They're just Under Armour brand. They're called, I believe, Flyby running shorts. I got them on Amazon. There's like $20 shorts. But one of the reasons why they just ended up being so amazing and one of my favorite pieces of gear is, first and foremost, because of how lightweight they are, how comfortable they were. They had little pockets. Not that I use the pockets a lot, but anytime a piece of clothing has pockets, it just seems like a good thing. They dried super fast. No matter how wet they got, they would dry almost, it seemed like almost instantly. I mean, they didn't stay wet long at all. And it could be because of the way that they're made, the mesh panels. But what made it one of my favorite pieces was once it warmed up and I was able to wear these shorts, whenever I would have to stop to take my bathroom breaks, like #1 break, I didn't have to, like, you know, as a woman, men don't have this problem the way women do, but as a woman, I was able to stop and do a #1 without having to take my shorts down or anything. And I know that might seem like TMI, but if you're a girl and you hike a lot, you'll know how annoying that can be sometimes. And I could use the bathroom. I didn't have to, like I said, you just, because they're not very long, they're, as you can see, they're kind of shorter. So you could part the lower, this area. You can, you know, part the lower area, do what you need to do, kind of like a guy, and go about your way. I didn't have to take my pack off or anything. And I'm just telling you, that's just such a huge deal to me, especially for considering for through hiking. I mean, I think even for like hiking or like overnight backpacking or something, it could still be very handy. But I don't know, just for a through hike, this was just such a game changer to me. I loved being able to wear these because it just made my hiking day so much better. This piece of gear is actually part of another piece of gear, which was my backpack. This is the hip belt pocket that comes on my Waymark Gear Light 50. I cannot say enough things about this hip belt pocket. I have two of them on each side. Now this one is the large size, which I believe Waymark Gear no longer carries. I don't understand why. Maybe they didn't sell a lot of them. I don't know, but to me, this is absolutely amazing. They do have a smaller size, which is still pretty good size. But for me, I love these. I know a lot of people want to carry the, like, kind of on the front of them, like as a, I can't think of the word. What is it called? Fanny pack, that's what it's called. I don't really like that. I had the Zpacks fanny pack thing, and I had tried to carry that. I don't know, I just didn't really like having something in the front of me like this. I liked it be on the side and kind of keeping me free. I don't know, that's just me personally. And this held pretty much anything I needed for the day. It held my snacks, it held chapstick, it held my camera, just, I don't know, anything, my iPod that I was listening to, just everything. It held everything. And the nice thing is when it would rain, pour rain, the inside of this never got wet. I don't know, I mean, between the material and I guess this zipper is, maybe it's the way it's sealed or something, but I never had anything get wet inside of these hip belt pockets when they were fully zipped. So like I said, I love this so much. They are removable, so you can take them off. I love these hip up buckets. This is this is the Zpacks 5-in-1 crossover. I don't even remember what this is called actually, but I actually really ended up loving that I had this as my wallet because it has a zipper, has 2 zippers on each side. It's waterproof because it's Dyneema fabric, and it has this long cord, so you could carry it, you know, like this. You could carry it as a crossover, I mean as a purse, however, and I would use this when I went into town. So this held, not only did this hold my money while I was in my pack, but I would also use it when I went into town. I could put my phone in it, and it was just a convenient way to be able to carry extra things, you know, without having to carry my pack around or having to hold things in my hand. I just loved having this, and because it's pretty flat, so I mean I could put it into my pack pretty much anywhere, and it never was like in the way. And it, you know, it would hold a lot more than say like the little wallets do. And it only weighs like 0.9 ounces, I think is how much it weighs. It doesn't weigh very much, it's less than an ounce. So it just turned out to be a very convenient and handy piece of gear. I talked about this piece of gear a little bit in my last video, going over the gear that I liked and gear I traded out. So I originally was carrying wired headphones because I didn't want to have to charge anything. I ended up switching out for my MPOW Bluetooth wireless headphones, and I'm trying to show you kind of a little bit here. It doesn't want to, it never wants to focus. But this turned out to be another favorite piece of gear because when I was using the wired headphones, they were constantly getting caught. They were ripping out my ears. Everything was coming out. It was just, I was constantly getting frustrated. And it's funny because I did not think when I started out on my thru hike that I would even want to listen to music, that I would even care about that, because in over 5 years of hiking and backpacking, I've never taken music and listened to music on the trail. But you do find that hiking every day, all day long, you do get to where you kind of do actually start to get a little bored of just listening to nature. So it was nice to have something I could listen to, like whether it's music or podcast, and I could put these over my neck, in my ears. They were actually a lot more comfortable to me than say some of the, like the iPhone headphones. I don't find those very comfortable. I have very small ears. Anyway, and they just never got in the way of anything. And even though they were Bluetooth and they used the Bluetooth technology on your phone, it didn't hardly use any battery life on my phone at all. So those are my absolutely favorite pieces of gear that I was carrying on the AT, and that I will continue to carry when I get back out on the trail. Obviously, all my gear for the most part that I'm carrying, I do love and I like having it, but these are just like extra special pieces of gear that kind of ended up doing things that I wasn't thinking they were going to turn out to be as great as they really are. The other piece of gear, which I had not actually used yet, but I recently bought, and it was in my last video, but I just want to kind of give it another quick shout out in case you haven't watched the other video. But that is this collapsible Nalgene water bottle, and this is a 48-ounce one. I've never seen these in stores. I actually went to several different outfitters and places to find this, could not find it, found it on Amazon, and yeah, I had a couple hikers, you know, mention about using something like this, especially if you're, I think a guy or a girl could use this totally. But if you're in your tent at night, a lot of people don't mind to get up out of their tent, you know, through the night. I'm one of those who, I don't really like getting up in the middle of the night if I can help it. And especially on the nights when it would like rain, or when it was really cold, I did not want to get out of my tent to try to go find somewhere to use the bathroom. And so I ended up a lot of times doing and I'm only talking about obviously number one. Number two is a totally different story, and that's just, yeah, you know, totally different story. So we're just talking number one. And sometimes I would just do number one outside in my vegetable when it would be pouring down raining and stuff. And I used to think, I wish I had a container to carry. And I mean, some people carry like peanut butter jars and things like that, but those get kind of bulky and take a lot of space. So when I heard about the collapsible Nalgene, I was like, what? Anyway, so I have not used this yet, but I'm really excited about it. If this works out the way I think it will, I think it's going to be another favorite piece of gear. And I know it may sound gross to some people, but like I said, I think this is going to be pretty awesome. I'm excited to try it out and find out if this is as great as I think it's going to be. Well, those are my 7 favorite pieces of gear and a bonus potential favorite piece of gear as well. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to hit that like button and be sure that you are subscribed to my channel, because I am going to continue to keep doing regular videos at least once a week. I am looking to possibly do another live Q&A video very soon. I'm looking to possibly do a balcony backpacking live Q&A video. We'll see how that's going to materialize and how that comes out. But anyway, make sure you're subscribed. And again, thanks for watching and thanks for being here, guys. And hope to see you guys on the trail very soon. Bye. Hi, y'all. Britt's here. Hi, y'all. What did I say normally if it wasn't like filming? Today I thought I would just go over a few pieces of my favorite. Alright, those are my 7 possibly a balcony